When you sit down, you're going to discover your clay and you're going to stand up, stay standing, and you're going to begin rolling it out. Just like you did last week. You did a great job. But the only thing is you want to keep in mind that you're trying to create a shape that looks kind of like this. So here's what I would recommend. You can start to roll it out, and as you do, this piece of clay is going to keep getting longer and longer. So instead, why don't you just go ahead and cut off some of these pieces on the ends here, put them in the middle, and then you can just kind of pound them down again and then get them to start to roll out. Then once you've done that, what you can do is take this whole piece and turn it sideways. Now, by doing that, you're going to be making your piece a little bit bigger. Remember, you always want to be able to have your rolling pins be on the yardstick. If it starts to go like this, and this is rolling just on the ground, this is going to get, or on the table, this is going to get way too thin. So we're going to start to go like this. And as you roll, you're just going to keep checking in and saying, how am I doing? So I now have space this way. I need to get longer. So what do? That's right. If you said it, I'm proud of you. You're going to peel it up and you're going to rotate it this way, because by doing it this way, it's going to make it longer. Here we go. So once you've done that, you'll put this on here and you're going to be using your needle tool to go ahead and cut it out. So once I do this, now you can put your texture on now. If you're going to put on texture that's really, really detailed, you may want to do that first before you put it on your house and before you assemble your dome, or you can do it later. So for example, if I was wanting to use one of these, I would for sure want to do that before I assemble my house. So I would come on here, and remember, we're not going to push super duper 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 hard. We want to kind of keep it under control how hard we push. Peel it up, and we've got some nice texture there. I could come here with this, go around the edge, blah blah blah, ding ding ding, got it. Now, to assemble your dome roof, or even your cone roof like this one is, you're going to take it, you're going to put the texture down over here, and you're going to take it and you're going to bring these two sides together. So we're going to come, we're going to pinch that together, and then these need to come together as well. Something that you may want to do is to take that good old toothbrush and kind of run it along these edges here. And when you bring it together, what I like to do is just put it inside my hand. And then with this other hand, what I can do is I'm going to just do a little smeary. Do you see how I'm doing that? You want to make sure that it smears together. If you just leave it like that, it's just going to come right apart. So I'm smearing it together. Now some people go, yeah, but when I do that, then I lose all my texture. Well, while it's sitting here on your hand, when you're done with your little smeary, you can take that texture tool and just bring it back and just kind of roll over it a little bit to bring it back, okay? Now, at this point, I now have a cone. It's going to fit on top of my house. Something that some kids like to do is to squeeze this part and to make it go kind of pointy so that they can round off the top and do something like that. Some kids have cut out leaves and added it, and then maybe cut out a coil and attached it going this way. Something else that you could do, I'm just going to take this guy apart. See, I attached him so well he doesn't want to. What some kids like to do is that before they attach it, they do a little scalloped edge where they go like this, and they cut the edge to look kind of like a flower petal or something nice. You could also do like a zigzag on the edge. You could do little cuts into it. And then you come here, put it back together, shmira. And now when you put it on, you're going to have this cute little scalloped edge. When you do go to put it onto your house, like I said before, we have the little Lazy Susan. I'm going to set this one going this direction so that you can see it. So when you set it on here, I'll put it on first. I'm going to put it on here. You can't really see it yet. And once you do that, then you can figure out what you want to do next. You are not going to lay it down like I am now. I'm just doing this so that you can see in the video. But you could bring this up. You could have this part going high and the rest going kind of low. You can start to add vines going around it. You can add things going here on top. There's just a ton of different options for you. Now, let's say that you were one of the people who wanted to make a dome. Again, if you have a big long piece like this and it's not fitting, just take that needle tool. The other thing is, if you have some big flat pieces, just overlap them like this. Put your yardstick on the side and go ahead and just go like this, and that'll just kind of smush them back together. So if I have a dome piece like this, I can go like here. I'm going to cut it out. And let's just pretend I'm going to add my texture later. So I would take this, use my toothbrush to kind of attach it, stick them together, and shmira. Now, what's kind of nice about something like this, and I'll just put it on top, is that if you have this dome shape now, what you can do is just kind of take your thumbs and push in the top a little bit and just stretch it out. That will make the dome go even higher. You could come around the edge and you could put some detailing on there if you wanted to. I'm going to put this back onto my sample here. Someone in the last class, they did a great thing. They put this on top and then they started to add texture. So for example, you could take something like this and just kind of run it down going like this. You could make it look kind of like it's a grass hut top or something like that. You could use something like this, just dip it into water, and then you could come here and then it's, oops, that's got some old clay on it. It's going to make it look kind of like there's tile on your roof if you want to do that. And if you start, when you're pushing it, your roof starts to cave in, just pick it back up and pop it back up. Okay? Let's see. Set that aside. The other thing that you can still do, if you want, let's say you wanted to make your thing with some leaves or something like that, then you can just take a leaf pattern. So let's say I had something like this. So I'm going to take my leaf pattern like this, and I'm going to cut out 4 leaves for myself. A lot of you are going to find that you're going to be in the situation that I'm about to be in a second here, that you haven't finished cutting out your clay, and all you have now are scraps. Well, no big deal. You're just going to take all your scraps and just quick roll them out. It's nice, fresh, beautiful clay, so it's going to come together pretty quickly. Just kind of do that quick pounding into a ball, smash it down into a little biscuit, roll it out, and in not too long you're going to have what you need. So anyway, let's pretend I cut out my leaves. Then what I would do is I would just attach them here on the top like this. Just kind of squeeze that clay together, and then these leaves would sit on top of the roof, and it would end up looking a lot like this or like that. Okay, let me show you just one more trick. A lot of kids like to make stairs. Fastest way to make stairs is to cut a rectangle, give yourself a nice big square, set it aside. Then this time cut it a little bit smaller, stack it. Then cut a piece a little bit smaller, stack it. And you can just keep going and going and going and going with that. I think we're done. Get to work.